What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope everybody's doing okay. Specifically, I wanted to talk about all the people that are watching from Southern California. I live in Tijuana. We're getting an advisory of really strong winds that are already causing a lot of disruption. There's a massive fire in Santa Monica, so please stay safe. I'm sorry for what's happening right now, but I want for you guys to please try and stay safe, move away from the danger. I am going to record 2 episodes today, and I am going to drop the second one tomorrow, but tomorrow I'm not going to record anything. I was supposed to do an interview with Chrissy Newton, and she had to change it due to some technical issues. But I was thinking about changing it too, because whenever we get these wins, because it happens often every year, um, the electricity goes out, and there's a lot of different types of disruptions. So please stay safe and gather your belongings, whoever can do that, get your pets, and move away from the danger, please. Having said that, today's episode is going to be about these predictions that keep coming forward from different places, from different players within the UFO topic. We see there's a lot of people that are sympathizers of Dr. Stephen Greer. We have seen a bunch of different interviews that he's done recently where he talks about multiple whistleblowers coming forward who are part of these unacknowledged special access programs. And his claims are that there's no turning back and they're blowing the whistle. And if that doesn't come to fruition, I think that his credibility will be completely destroyed. And I'm saying the same thing about all the other people that are saying that something is going to happen within the first month of this year, 2025. We're talking days. That's what they're saying. So the other open question marks that I have are, for example, there's this email that I received, and people who are part of these emails from the UAP Disclosure Fund. And at the very end of what's going to happen, what happened on the third quarter of 2024, there's a very interesting piece where they talk about a whistleblower that is allegedly coming forward. And this is not has nothing to do with the Tesla Cybertruck, and it has nothing to do with the Michael Herrera story, as far as I'm concerned. This is a different one. So I decided to reach out and ask about this specifically. I don't know many details about it. I'm just telling you that what is believed that may happen, and I'm taking this with a huge grain of salt because of how certain so many of these people seem about stuff happening over the next couple of weeks. Before the inauguration, to be more specific, they say that this whistleblower is coming forward with evidence, and that this evidence was already delivered to some major news or media outlet. My money is on either Fox News, Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan, maybe Ross Coulthart, I don't know, and that it is happening over the next couple of weeks. Whether it happens or not, that remains to be seen. But this is an interesting one to look out for. If nothing happens, it will just be more of the same that has always happened. And I was just recently on the night shift with Clint and Sander, and we talked about this, that Dr. Stephen Greer, for example, he has been saying that stuff is going to happen for 20 years or more, and nothing happens. I know that, for example, the people from the Control Disclosure group keep talking about these things that are coming soon and all this stuff, right? And they did bring David Grush to the fold. Lou Elizondo has been part of all of this effort too. And from that perspective, I think that they have done some interesting and important things. Colonel Karl Nell coming forward talking about this slow drip disclosure plan is also something worth looking at, I think.
And my last assignment was involved with the UAP task force, which maybe is the most apropos for this discussion.
And so, Karl, here's the million-dollar question. Do you believe that a higher form of non-human intelligence has visited this planet?
Right. So non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity. This interaction is not new, and it's been ongoing. And there are unelected people in the government that are aware of that.
And so, Karl, that is quite a bold statement. I'm wondering, and I'm curious, how confident are you that that is true?
There's zero doubt.
Whether it's going to happen or not, that is an entirely different story. And there's also the more spiritual religious aspect of this, which is Chris Bledsoe, who recently said this.
I want to start out by saying that I predicted this. If you read my book, anybody who's read this book realize and watched any podcast that I've done over the last 5-6 years, I've been saying the whole time that these orbs are going to come and wake us up. And I even gave specific times that when that might happen, and that's when you see war between Israel and Iran. I put that in the book. So what Bertie was saying about their alarm, they are really alarmed. The orbs, to me, they're angels to me. They're biblical, just like you said, Jim. They're magical beings. They don't breed like humans. They were created. They listen to our thoughts. I interact with them every day of my life and have literally tens of thousands of bits of data and information from them. And when I interact with them, they're speaking to me. How do you get them to come? Because they listen to me and they send information. So I knew this time was coming. I know a lot about drones because I'm a drone pilot and I'm also a commercial pilot. And I can tell you there's a Remote ID Act that was passed by the federal government that says all toy airplanes, even models, if it's a half a pound or more, it's got to be 0.55 pounds, just a little more than a half. You have to have a transponder on them to fly toy airplanes. So none of these are civilians. For one, civilian drones can't see in the dark unless it's got a FLIR camera, and that would usually be the fire departments or whatever. Also, I do know that a friend of mine in New Jersey called me, told me that he filmed the drone, one of these drones, minivan-sized drones, fly over his house. He's shown a laser on it, and in 30 minutes, the FBI knocked on his door and said, "We know you did it, and if you do it again, we'll put you in jail." Yesterday, I was called by someone in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, that there was one of those same drones running a grid over Chapel Hill with a Black Hawk helicopter right behind it with its lights out. So yeah, the military, whatever they're doing, the drones, the orbs are coming on high alert. It's just like the Foo Fighters in World War II. When the fighters were going into Germany, these orbs were beside them. So that's just my opinion that the orbs are on high alert, that whatever the drones are doing, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're looking for something, sniffing for nuclear material. That would clearly explain why the orbs are coming in great numbers. And they're not going to stop. They're going to keep coming until everyone understands that we're not alone, and that this confusing it with the drone thing and with something terrestrial, here, it's got to end. Everybody's going to awaken to a truth between now and 2026, and if not way before, early this year, that we're not alone, and that there's something above us that's concerned for our safety. And it's the same thing with all these people that report seeing these orbs to me, and I have thousands that report to me, that never send a MUFON or anywhere. They just reach out to me because they're fans. And it's always the same. They have these experiences after a tragic loss of loved ones, or husband or wife or daughter or child. So there's patterns that exist in this. The drones are muddy in the water, but they will not prevail. The orbs are going to come and awaken this country, this world. And it's happening worldwide. And if you read this book, UFO of God, you'll see exactly that I predicted this years ago, and have been doing it every chance I get, every podcast that I do, to say it's fixing to happen, it's coming. And I know it because they're telling me this, and I can film it and I can share it with other people, 200 at a time. See it. When I ask, here it comes. And that's because it's listening to what I'm saying. And it knows our thoughts. So I'm kind of worried about this, what the military's doing, why they're running grids all over the country and worldwide. It doesn't make sense unless they're trying to desensitize the fact that this non-human intelligence is coming into our world, and they're afraid of panic. So if it's not some nuclear material involved, but I believe though they're coming because they're alarmed, like Birdie. So I don't know, we're speculating, all of us, but I was correct. That is happening, and it's going to happen before 2026. And everybody's going to know it. There's no getting around what's coming. And I'm not worried about the orbs at all. I'm worried about the drones and people, not the heavens. So there's so much more I could talk about, but I would just be speculating. But I do know it's coming, and it's coming into our lifetime. And when we're all dead and gone, our children will live a new awakening, a new knowledge. And that's what the book tells you about, this new knowledge that's coming. So
that's another prediction. And then there's also the Michael Herrera story that has flooded Reddit, that talks about somebody else from a black program that took him to a black site. Many of the claims that Michael Herrera does are really, really hard to believe. And I don't know if anything will happen. It's just interesting to note that a lot of people are like increasingly saying that a lot of different whistleblowers are going to come forward. If only just one of them does, with one of these stories that are being told online is true or does happen, there's a lot of things that could change. But again, it's hard to not be critical about all of this because of the past interactions they've had with the people, that they keep teasing stuff and saying buckle up and all this stuff, and it just doesn't happen. So I guess we'll see if something happens. I can tell you that I did reach out to the UAP Disclosure Fund people, and they did tell me that yes, there was in fact somebody that allegedly has some evidence. I wasn't told what or the specificity of the evidence, but that it is coming soon. And man, so hard to believe, but let's see. 2025 already started really weird. The drone flap is still going strong. And I do have something that I want to address right at the end of this video, which is now, that when someone wants to come forward, a whistleblower or somebody with evidence, it seems to me that there is only one of two groups that can get that information. One is the side that is like controlled by the government, and they claim to be doing everything the right way. But whenever some information that is important, that needs to go out to the public, comes to them, they sequester it and they stovepipe it and they start playing these games of it's coming, and they slow drip it, and they don't release the full information. They cite national security to justify that they are not releasing everything, and I think that should stop. I also have to say to anybody who has any type of evidence or has anything substantial to present, I would tell you there's a lot of new people, new media outlets, new channels, new podcasts that do great journalistic work that don't align with those that sequester information. Those are other channels that you can also go to. And granted, they may not be as big as these channels that tend to release the information, but they are not compromised. So, in my mind, I want to see an ecosystem of people who have media outlets, channels, podcasts, information, that they all have a place where information is open source, where people who have evidence can present this information, and someone from that like overall group that should include everybody can report on it in a proper manner after vetting the whole information. But it needs to be open source. Everybody needs to be aware of what's going on. I am talking about obviously the information group, the podcasters and journalists and free press, all of that. That obviously doesn't include the legacy media. I think that much of these different media outlets and so-called UFO bigwigs, and on the other side, the ones that are more on the religious aspect of this, that think this is spiritual, but also have a lot of access to information, I think that they need to understand that staying on these separate lanes and hiding information from each other is part of the problem. And we need for that to stop, because people and these whistleblowers, many of them, no longer trust any side. And you guys need to see that. And that happens because you are gatekeeping information from the people. People are fed up of that, and it needs to stop. So I think that we need to work together to brainstorm something that has to do with open source information, either a place, a website, where people can get their information out, get their report out, and the next in line that is registered there gets first dibs at reporting on it. That's the only way that I see all of this information coming forward without being hidden from people. And all of the information needs to come forward, not just pieces of it, and also not by timing it. That can't keep happening. That is part of the problem. So if these so-called whistleblowers are coming forward, they've done it by one of those two avenues. And I don't know how it will work. I don't know what the effect will be. I don't even know if these whistleblowers will come forward, if their information is accurate or true. But that whole Tesla Cybertruck incident was not a great start for potential whistleblowers coming forward, because it does seem like a psyop, in my opinion. It may not be, but that's what it looks like to me for now. And as far as this whistleblower that the UAP Disclosure Fund is trying to help, if he does or she does come forward with some type of evidence, let's see it and analyze it between all of us. Let's hope it's true, though, to start with. But yeah, what have you heard online, on Reddit? There's a bunch of different stories that many of them have similar tropes, and many of them are very different. I want to hear, what have you heard about some type of whistleblower coming forward, or stories about conflicting groups from Lockheed Martin and JSOC, going at it and killing people and craft being involved. I've heard all kinds of stuff, and I want to hear what you've heard and what you've read. Please let me know in the comments so I can be aware of all the stories that are circulating the internet. I'm sure I have missed a lot of them, so I'll be glad to read all of your comments about them. So let me know. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to please hit the like and subscribe buttons, share, comment. If you want to support the channel in any other way, there's a bunch of links in the description. Take your pick. Thank you for the support. And I will see you on the next video. Stay safe, California. Bye.